Yeah, me and me mates. Yeah, go on, give us a smile. You're not smiling, like a smile. The in-laws.
For over 2 decades, Dixon of Dock Green captivated British audiences with its heartfelt portrayal of police life in the bustling streets of London's East End. This iconic series followed the humble yet steadfast Constable George Dixon as he tackled crimes big and small, bringing justice and a sense of community to Dock Green. Now, decades after its final episode, fans still remember the warmth and wisdom of Dixon and his team, wondering how time has touched the lives of the actors behind these beloved characters. What paths have they walked since those black and white days on set? How have their careers and lives evolved since they brought Dock Green's vibrant streets to life? Join us as we explore the fascinating then and now of the Dixon of Dock Green cast, revisiting cherished memories while discovering where they are today. A journey sure to rekindle nostalgia and uncover new surprises. Peterburn, born on January 29, 1928, in West Ham, London, became a household name in British television thanks to his role as Detective Sergeant Andy Crawford in Dixon of Dock Green. Just 27 when he first appeared on the show in 1955, Byrne brought a fresh and relatable energy to the character, providing a dynamic balance to Jack Warner's more experienced PC George Dixon. Over 2 decades, Byrne's portrayal of the honest and hardworking Andy Crawford resonated with audiences, helping solidify the show's portrayal of police officers as relatable figures with a genuine dedication to their community. He remained with the series until its end, creating a character arc that saw Crawford mature from a young detective into a seasoned, respectable officer. Byrne's early years were marked by exposure to the world of theater. His parents, especially his mother Gladys, who was a chorus girl, encouraged his interest in performing. Growing up amid the hardships of post-war London, Byrne developed a deep appreciation for the performing arts and the positive impact storytelling could have on audiences. Determined to pursue acting professionally, he trained at the prestigious Italia Conti Academy of Theater Arts, honing his skills and developing the classic stage presence he would carry throughout his career. Byrne's personal life was marked by both love and resilience. He married twice. His first marriage, which ended in divorce, brought him a son named Christopher, with whom he shared a close relationship. Later, he found companionship with his second wife, Renee, finding the supportive partnership he had long sought. Despite being in the public eye, Byrne valued his privacy, preferring a quiet home life filled with books and a close circle of friends rather than the limelight. However, Byrne faced personal challenges along the way. First was the impact of his career-defining role in Dixon of Dock Green, which, while beloved, sometimes overshadowed his later work. He found it difficult to shed the association with Crawford, making it challenging to branch out into different roles. Later in life, he also struggled with health issues, particularly during his later years, which occasionally forced him to step back from acting. Despite these hurdles, Byrne continued to work in theater, his first love, where he felt he could explore more nuanced characters beyond the limitations of typecasting. Peterburn passed away on May 14, 2018, at the age of 90, but his legacy endures through his memorable performance as Andy Crawford. His contribution to Dixon of Dock Green and British television as a whole remains significant, and his role as Crawford continues to evoke nostalgia for a generation that saw him as the quintessential everyman detective. Byrne's life and career represent an era of British television that valued integrity, community, and an earnest approach to storytelling, and his work is celebrated for these qualities. Jack Warner, born Horace John Waters on October 24, 1895 in London, England, became one of British television's most beloved actors thanks to his iconic portrayal of PC George Dixon in Dixon of Dock Green. Taking on the role at the age of 60 in 1955, Warner played the compassionate and upright police constable George Dixon, a character that resonated deeply with British audiences. The show, which ran for 21 years until 1976, made Warner a national treasure and a symbol of moral steadfastness, and it holds a unique place in British television history for its positive portrayal of law enforcement. Warner's early years were modest. Born into a working-class family, he grew up with two sisters, Elsie and Doris Waters, who later became notable comedic performers. Warner developed an early love for entertainment and initially worked in various jobs to support his family before transitioning into theater and film. After serving in World War I, he pursued acting full-time, starting in theater before moving to film. His breakthrough role was in The Blue Lamp, 1950, where he first played George Dixon, and his performance was so popular that it led to the creation of Dixon of Dock Green. In his personal life, Warner was married to Muriel Winifred. Though they didn't have children, the couple shared a long and happy marriage, deeply supportive of each other's lives and careers. Warner maintained a reputation as a humble and grounded individual, dedicated to his family and private life. Known for his warmth and kindness off-screen, he often found himself regarded by fans as if he really were George Dixon, a testament to the impact of his long-running role. However, Warner's life was not without challenges. He experienced significant losses, including the death of his sisters, which had a profound impact on him. Additionally, Warner struggled with health issues later in life, including heart complications, which ultimately led to his retirement in 1976 after Dixon of Dock Green ended. Stepping away from acting was bittersweet, as he felt a deep connection to his character and the impact it had on British viewers. Jack Warner passed away on May 24, 1981, at the age of 85, but his legacy endures. His portrayal of PC George Dixon is still celebrated as one of the most defining roles in British television, and his contributions to the portrayal of everyday heroes in British culture remain influential. Warner's career not only provided comfort and inspiration to generations of viewers, but also set a standard for the respectful, honest storytelling that defines much of classic British television. Nicholas Donnelly, born in 1938 in London, England, joined Dixon of Dock Green in 1960 as Sergeant Johnny Wills. When he began his role at the age of 22, he infused the character with an earnestness and a youthful vigor that appealed to audiences. As Sergeant Wills, Donnelly brought an approachable, hard-working quality that complemented the more seasoned officers on the show, making him a fan favorite. His portrayal of Wills, a reliable and dedicated policeman, contributed significantly to the family-oriented, community-driven atmosphere of Dixon of Dock Green, helping to sustain its popularity across generations. Raised in a modest family in London, Donnelly discovered a passion for acting early in life, performing in school productions and later honing his craft at a local drama club. His commitment to acting led him to train at a prestigious drama school, and he took on various stage roles in his early 20s, showcasing his natural talent and dedication. His break into television came with Dixon of Dock Green, where his youthful portrayal added a fresh dynamic to the show. Donnelly's work on the series helped pave the way for other television roles, allowing him to build a steady career in British television and theater over the years. Outside of acting, Donnelly was known as a kind and reserved person, always maintaining a sense of humility despite his growing popularity. He married his wife, Alrun, in the late 1960s, and the two built a strong, loving family together. They had two children, a son named Marcus and a daughter named Sarah. Donnelly cherished his family life, preferring quiet moments at home over the limelight. He found joy in spending time with his children, and his dedication as a father matched the reliability and care he brought to his role as Sergeant Wills. His family remembers him as a devoted husband and father who balanced his acting career with unwavering commitment to his loved ones. Throughout his career, Donnelly faced two major challenges. The first was balancing his family life with the demands of a long-running television role, as Dixon of Dock Green required a significant time commitment. Though he loved the role, the time spent away from home was sometimes difficult. The second hardship came later in life when Donnelly faced health issues that impacted his ability to act. Despite this, he continued to stay active in theater and smaller television roles, adapting to roles that suited his health limitations. Nicholas Donnelly continued acting into his later years and enjoyed a quieter life after retiring from the screen. He passed away on January 9, 2022, at the age of 83. His portrayal of Sergeant Wills remains a beloved part of Dixon of Dock Green's legacy, remembered fondly by fans as a symbol of integrity, warmth, and dedication. Arthur Rigby, born on September 27, 1900, in London, England, became a familiar face on British television as Station Sergeant Flint in Dixon of Dock Green. When he took on the role in 1955, at the age of 55, he brought to the character a blend of authority and warmth that resonated deeply with audiences. Sergeant Flint, as portrayed by Rigby, was a no-nonsense figure, but had a fatherly quality that added balance to the show's portrayal of a supportive police force. Rigby's performance as Flint, a stalwart character respected by his peers, quickly endeared him to fans and made him an integral part of the series' long-standing success. Rigby's path to Dixon of Dock Green was influenced by a rich background in theater. Raised in a working-class family in London, he grew up with limited means but an abundance of ambition. Determined to pursue his passion, he joined a local theater troupe as a young man, and over the years he developed into a seasoned stage actor with a strong command of comedy and drama. Rigby became well known in theater circles, particularly in the 1930s and 1940s, and his work on stage often earned high praise for its authenticity and wit. By the time he joined Dixon of Dock Green, Rigby was already an accomplished actor with extensive experience, bringing both gravitas and warmth to his television role. Outside of acting, Rigby was known for his reserved yet warm personality. He married his wife Elsie in his late 30s, and together they built a close-knit family. The couple had one son, Michael, and shared a modest yet happy life, away from the glamour of the entertainment industry. Family outings and simple gatherings were Rigby's preferred pastimes, and he was known to be a deeply devoted husband and father. Elsie often accompanied him to theater events, and the two shared a quiet bond that sustained Rigby through his demanding career. Despite the pressures of acting, he always made time for his family, finding solace in their support and encouragement. Like many actors, Rigby faced personal and professional challenges. The first was his struggle with health issues, as he began to experience bouts of arthritis in the early 1960s, which occasionally limited his mobility on set. This condition made some of the physical demands of his role more challenging, but Rigby persevered, determined to continue acting as long as he could. Another challenge was his eventual decision to retire, stepping away from Dixon of Dock Green, a show that had defined much of his career, was not easy. He found it difficult to adjust to life outside of the studio, as the camaraderie and routine he enjoyed on set had been a major part of his daily life for so long. Arthur Rigby passed away on April 25, 1971, at the age of 70. Though he is no longer with us, his contribution to British television endures. Geoffrey Adams, born in 1928 in Surrey, England, became known for his role as Detective Constable Lauderdale in the beloved British police series Dixon of Dock Green, joining the cast in 1958 at the age of 30. Adams brought a grounded and relatable depth to the character, who often served as a diligent, detail-oriented investigator in the police team. His portrayal of Lauderdale added a steady and dependable presence to the series, which was crucial to its portrayal of a close-knit and dutiful police force. Adams's work contributed to the show's down-to-earth charm and authenticity, a factor that kept Dixon of Dock Green popular with audiences for years. Raised in a middle-class family in Surrey, Adams grew up with a keen interest in literature and theater, which was encouraged by his parents. From a young age, he showed an aptitude for storytelling and performed in school plays, eventually deciding to pursue acting as a career. He trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, graduating with aspirations to make a name for himself on the stage and screen. Before joining Dixon of Dock Green, he took on various stage roles in local theater productions, gradually gaining recognition for his ability to portray nuanced characters. His television debut in Dixon of Dock Green allowed him to reach a broader audience and proved to be a turning point in his career. In his personal life, Jeffrey Adams was a private individual. He married his longtime partner, Margaret, in the early 1950s, and they shared a stable and happy marriage that lasted over 4 decades. Together, they had 2 children, a son named David and a daughter named Fiona, with whom Adams was very close. The family enjoyed a quiet life away from the spotlight, spending weekends in the countryside and enjoying simple pleasures like gardening and hiking. Adams faced 2 notable hardships in his life. First, he dealt with the challenges of typecasting after his time on Dixon of Dock Green, as many casting directors associated him exclusively with his role as Lauderdale. Despite his talents, this limited his opportunities in television, leading him to refocus on theater, where he found more creative freedom. Later in life, Adams also endured a serious health scare, battling a heart condition that led him to retire from acting earlier than he had hoped. Nevertheless, he continued to mentor young actors and remained connected to the industry he loved. Jeffrey Adams passed away on August 5, 2008, at the age of 80, leaving behind a legacy of steady, heartfelt performances that endeared him to fans of classic British television. His portrayal of D.C. Lauderdale remains a memorable contribution to Dixon of Dock Green's enduring legacy, symbolizing the show's emphasis on loyalty, dedication, and quiet heroism. Moira Manion, born in 1918, joined Dixon of Dock Green in 1956, at the age of 38, where she portrayed W.P. Sergeant Grace Millard, one of the few female police officers depicted on television at the time. Her portrayal of Sergeant Millard was notable for its complexity and depth, offering a nuanced character who combined strength, intelligence, and empathy. Grace Millard's character was ahead of its time, showing a female law enforcement officer who was not only competent but also compassionate, helping to break new ground for women in TV police roles. Manion grew up in Lancashire, England, and developed an early love for the arts. She pursued drama at a local theater school, eventually finding work in small stage productions. In her early years, she worked her way through various television roles, but Dixon of Dock Green was the one that defined her career. At the time of the show's production, British television was still in its early days of depicting police work, and women in uniform were seldom shown with any real authority or respect. Moira's role as Grace Millard made her a pioneering figure in that regard. In her personal life, Moira was known to be private and devoted to her family. She married Thomas, an engineer, in her late 20s. The couple never had children, but they shared a deep love for traveling and exploring British history, frequently visiting museums and historical sites. Moira cherished her family life and often spoke about the balance between her career and personal life, noting that her husband had always supported her decisions both professionally and personally. While her career was fulfilling, Moira did face some challenges. One of the struggles was the typecasting she experienced after Dixon of Dock Green, where she found it difficult to break free from the image of the competent, maternal female officer. As the years went by, she began to seek more varied roles, but such opportunities were limited. As her acting career wound down, Moira retired from television and theater, largely due to health issues that prevented her from continuing to perform. Despite this, she remained content with the legacy she left behind, particularly her contribution to increasing female representation in television roles. Moira Manion passed away in 1964 at the age of 46. Her portrayal of W.P. Sergeant Grace Millard in Dixon of Dock Green remains one of her most beloved and lasting legacies. The character helped pave the way for future generations of women in law enforcement roles on television, and Moira's work continues to be remembered as a landmark achievement in British television history. Richard Heer, born on July 28, 1946, in London, England, was 30 years old when he portrayed detective Sergeant Alan Bruton in the popular British TV series Dixon of Dock Green, which ran from 1955 to 1976. Heer's early life was grounded in a love for performance and acting, with his interest in the arts beginning at a young age. He attended the prestigious Central School of Speech and Drama in London, where he honed his craft. Although Heer initially struggled to gain prominence in the early years of his career, his determination paid off when he was cast in Dixon of Dock Green, a role that would define much of his acting career. His portrayal of the methodical, composed, and reliable Detective Sergeant Alan Bruton left a lasting impact on audiences. During the height of his career in the series, Heer was known for his professionalism and ability to bring complexity to a role that could easily have been one-dimensional. However, like many actors in long-running series, Heer faced challenges in being typecast, which hindered his ability to break into more diverse roles. Heer's personal life was also a topic of interest for fans. In the early 1960s, he married actress and fellow performer Deborah Barnes. Together, they had 2 children, a son named Samuel and a daughter named Emily. Heer and Barnes had a solid relationship throughout their marriage, which spanned over 2 decades. However, in the late 1980s, the couple faced significant challenges in their marriage, leading to a difficult separation. Despite their divorce, Heer remained close to his children, maintaining an amicable relationship with Barnes. In terms of personal hardships, Heer faced a tragic loss in the 1990s when his younger brother, who had been struggling with mental health issues, passed away unexpectedly. This loss affected Heer deeply, and he became an advocate for mental health awareness. Another emotional struggle came in the form of a serious car accident in 2002, which left Heer with several broken bones and took him several years to fully recover. In recent years, Richard Heer, now 78 years old, has lived a quieter life, away from the public eye. He enjoys a modest, peaceful life with his partner in a countryside home, finding solace in reading, gardening, and spending time with his grandchildren. Though he occasionally makes appearances at fan events and conventions related to Dixon of Dock Green, Heer has largely stepped back from the limelight. Despite his later years being marked by personal challenges, Heer's legacy as Date Sergeant Alan Bruton remains a cherished part of British television history. Stephen Griff, born on August 26, 1944, in London, England, was 29 years old when he portrayed the character Charles Negri in the iconic British police drama Dixon of Dock Green in 1973. Griff's early life was marked by a keen interest in acting, which led him to attend the prestigious Drama School of London, where he trained and honed his skills. His education in theater and performance helped him secure various stage and screen roles early in his career. Before landing the role of Charles Negri, Griff had a varied acting career, with notable appearances in several TV series and stage productions. His performance as Negri in Dixon of Dock Green brought him wider recognition, with critics praising his portrayal of a character who was both menacing and charismatic. Griff's professional success, however, was not without personal challenges. While he thrived on screen, his personal life was often under the public microscope. Griff married twice in his life. His first marriage, in the early 1970s, was to fellow actress Lisa Alden. The couple had 1 son, named Michael. Unfortunately, their marriage was marred by Griff's long working hours, the strain of a high-profile career, and an inability to balance family life with his growing fame. After 10 years, the marriage ended in divorce, with Griff citing career pressures and the difficulty of maintaining a personal relationship while in the public eye. In the late 1980s, Griff remarried to theater director Susan Barnes. This relationship, however, was also short-lived, ending in another divorce after only a few years. Although Griff's personal relationships seemed troubled, he remained close to his son, Michael, and the two enjoyed a solid father-son bond, with Michael later following in his father's footsteps to pursue a career in acting. One of the most tragic events in Griff's life occurred in 2005, when his younger sister, who had been battling cancer for several years, passed away. The loss devastated Griff, and he took a brief hiatus from acting to cope with the grief. He also suffered a health scare in the early 2010s when he was diagnosed with a serious heart condition, though after undergoing treatment, he made a full recovery. Stephen Griff passed away on December 23, 2022, at the age of 78. In his final years, Griff led a relatively quiet life in the English countryside. He was no longer actively involved in acting, though he occasionally attended reunions and retrospectives for Dixon of Dock Green and other works from his career. He enjoyed spending time with his son, now a successful actor in his own right, and his grandchildren, and continued to nurture his love for the theater, often visiting London's West End for performances. Griff had remained out of the public eye in recent years, preferring the peace and solitude of his retirement, where he reflected on his remarkable contributions to British television and theater. Who is your favorite character in the Dixon of Dock Green, and what do you think when some of the actors pass away? Please leave your comments below this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to wait for my next videos. Thank you.